What is going on, Crisis Actors? It is episode 1050 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I hope you all are having a fantastic Friday, at least in these neck of the woods. It's very, very nice out. So we are hoping for no tech issues and a smooth Friday episode. And I am here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Happy Friday. It is indeed a beautiful day outside, but we're inside podcasting because that's way more important.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sure you can hear it a little bit in my voice that I'm not totally back to normal yet, but I am like 90% better from the cold that I had. So I think I'll be able to power through just fine today.
You can make some short form content about your ironclad routine to get over being sick. That seems like something an influencer would do.
I don't have that though. Everyone seems to have that, but I just kind of ignore it. This is my routine when I get sick. Ignore it. Step 2, question mark, question mark, question mark. Step 3, profit.
Yeah.
That's my plan every time that something goes wrong.
That's me. That's me too. That's what I did when I was sick until literally my voice wouldn't let me do the show anymore. Well,
I do think you should probably get it checked out because you are still coughing now.
2 months later.
That seems like a case of walking pneumonia, but I'm not a doctor. Don't take my medical advice. We have a 20 here from Shane H. Wilder. Happy Friday, Brett and Mary. I hope you're feeling better, Mary. I've been on a big band swing kick. Brian Setzer, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, Glenn Miller. I think we need a revival of the genre just to have some fun music again. Well, everyone knows, Shane, that swing already had a revival in the early 2010s, somewhat late 2000s, with electro swing.
Meaning like Meghan Trainor?
No, Meghan Trainor was more like doo-wop pop. But electro swing was its own entire thing, especially when the Gatsby movie came out. That was a huge deal.
Okay.
But I don't know. The electro swing thing always just gave me like cringe millennial steampunk vibes. I like actual swing, like big band music. That's actually good, but they like bastardized it. And it was giving like the way that TikTokers dance with their hands. Like this.
Like this is giving me like hipster vibes from you right now. Like, oh, you don't like name 3 songs.
But it was the hipsters of the time who loved electro swing the most.
Funny how that works. We do things a little different here. We do things a little different here.
We do things a little different around here.
Also, well, no, I was thinking more like, so that's the trend on Instagram is it's millennial restaurant owners, and they're all wearing tight-fitting plaid shirts with their fades and their beards, and they're playing Lumineers and giving you an $80 cheeseburger.
Well, the hey-ho stomp clap folksy millennials were also a different brand.
Yes.
Which I appreciate much more than the electro swing steampunk brand. I never really understood that.
The ho-hey ones were the ones I was in proximity to when I lived in Uptown in Minneapolis.
Beanie with extra room at the top.
My beanie had extra room at the top all the time. I never wore a beanie
hold
that
all
fit.
Your hopes and dreams of one day owning a home.
The most ardent defenders are probably the most ardent defenders are probably still wearing suspenders.
You know what? Those should make a comeback. I would be in favor of that. These belts I'm seeing around it, they suck.
What kind of belts?
What's going on with modern belts for men? Can the men weigh in? I don't know anything about menswear or men's fashion really, but I see these belts and I don't know what they're called. They look ridiculous.
How so?
It's like they're like tactical or something. I don't know. They're not made of leather. They're made of something else, nylon maybe. And the buckle, it looks like this giant like flat metal like cap.
Like is it square or rectangular?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean that's just those clamp really well and hold it's like a military belt.
Well, no one would buy them if there weren't some use for it and some convenience aspect. They look terrible.
They're good because they don't have like a notch setting.
Oh, I see.
Like you don't have to choose, because everybody's kind of experienced that. Where like you're not quite at this belt notch, but you're not at this one either. There's like a gap in the middle.
Well, that's when you just poke a hole in it.
Yeah, but that destroys the belt.
Never mind. I mean, I've done that. I actually don't think I own any belts.
I have 2 belts. And I use neither unless I'm going to like a formal. Like when we got married, I wore a belt, and then I didn't, because it was a tux, so I didn't wear a belt. But when the night before, I wore a belt. And then I wore one at a couple of funerals that I went to. Other than that, I do not wear the belts.
You're a non-belt wearer.
Yes. I moved back away from joggers and started wearing pants with an actual like button again. That's the best that they can get me to do.
Go off.
There you go. Guys, we got a bunch of stuff to get into today. So before we get started, as always, please hit the like button on this episode and subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Remember to share the episode out with your friends and your family, your loved ones, people in your life that you like, the ones that you don't like as well. The more people that you share the show with, the faster the channel can grow. You can argue about the stuff in the comments below. It's good for all parties involved. I also want to give a quick update. I guess just a quick announcement, since we are going to be doing this tomorrow. I am going to be doing a live stream here on this channel tomorrow at noon. Me and Olivia are going to review The Sheep Detective, and I saw Mortal Kombat on my own. So I said, I don't want to do 2 separate videos. So what we're going to do is we're going to review both. I'm going to review the first one, and we will both review the second one live tomorrow at noon. We're going to put that up for all viewers on YouTube. If you want to watch it, you can. After that, we're going to make it private and put it up for members' content only. So that would be pretty fun. That's going to be interesting. I'm very excited to go see The Sheep Detective, and I will refrain from sharing my thoughts on Mortal Kombat outside of whatever I tweeted about it. And I think I did really well to not just drop any spoilers, because I didn't want because people were like, asking me questions in the comments, and I didn't want people who were going to go and see the movie catching strays by answering questions from people online. So
how courteous.
I was very courteous. I'd like to think that. So, all right. So that will be tomorrow on the channel here on YouTube. I don't know yet about Rumble, because the thing is, it's going to go up for members content only on YouTube, but we will see. So tomorrow, noon Eastern, you should tune in there. It's going to be a lot of fun. What are we getting into today? We are going to talk about Star Wars. There is now a conservative boycott of the Mandalorian and Grogu. Most of the public has been boycotting Star Wars for a while now, but
I'm embarrassed to even be related to you.
Yeah,
this is a lot of boycotts. I can't keep track.
You know what it is? It's like these people don't live in our sphere, so they don't know what's going on. But there's some conservatives that are saying don't go see The Mandalorian and Grogu because of Mark Hamill's post about Donald Trump, which is just the most Mark Hamill thing ever, because that's just the guy he is, and he ended up deleting it anyways with like a non-apology. So we'll talk.
Who was it? They called him Pig Dick Donald Trump.
That was Rappaport.
Okay, similar.
Yeah, but he's kind of turned around though.
Yeah, weirdly enough, after October 7th.
Yes, yeah. So we will talk about the Star Wars boycott that's going on. We're going to talk about Jaime Pressly, who, if you're my age, you know who she is. She was in a ton of things. In fact, I went and looked at her IMDb. She has worked consistently this whole time, so I don't know why she's doing this, but she's launching an OnlyFans.
Greedy. That's what she is. We have a 20 from Shane H. Wilder. No, I mean like traditional big band swing. There was a traditional revival in the 90s with Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, Cherry Poppin' Daddies, and Squirrel Nut Zipper. If you own a real leather belt, just use a leather hole punch. Didn't know such a thing existed, and I have never heard of any of these groups. They all sound fake, so you might be doing an elaborate troll on me right now, but that's okay.
What was the second?
Squirrel Nut Zipper.
I don't know about that one, but Cherry Poppin' Daddies I've heard of.
Oh, okay.
So
but it must be real.
Okay. So we're going to talk about the Star Wars. We're going to talk about Justin Bieber. He went to Bohemian Grove and performed a satanic ritual for a bunch of elitist billionaires because they're going to harvest the blood of children and use it to live forever. I might be making that up. But he did do a concert for a bunch of tech bros, and we're going to kind of get into what that means, because he's made a whole living off these kind of secondary private concerts. Whether this happens at the altar of some type of voodoo god, I have no idea, but it's interesting. So we'll talk about it. We're also going to talk about who else? Scarlett Johansson says you were objectifying her when you watched Black Widow in Iron Man 2. And Gwyneth Paltrow, worth $200 million, says that the real problem in society is rich white men. Is that everything?
Well, specifically old, rich, white
dudes.
And they
says
like
the
saying
dudette.
dudes.
Yeah.
Dudes, they say dudes instead of men because it's a little bit like demeaning.
Yes, it's supposed to be demeaning.
Belittling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got that. We got a bunch of other stuff. If you're ready to go, we can go. Are you ready?
I think I'm ready.
Let's go for it then.
Old, crusty, decrepit, deranged Mark Hamill, as I'm sure you have already heard, posted an AI-generated photo of Donald Trump dead in his grave, captioned, and I'm going to just read it out loud in my best fake Mark Hamill impression. If only he should live long enough to witness his inevitable devastating loss in the midterms, be held accountable for his unprecedented corruption, impeached, convicted, and humiliated for his countless crimes, long enough to realize he'll be disgraced in the history books forevermore. Hashtag Don_the con.
I didn't mention this yesterday when we talked about this, but you are correct. Putting an underscore in a hashtag is crazy work.
The underscore is just another proof of how old he is. Not social media literate, probably not great at differentiating between AI and real images. Anyways, this has prompted a new round of conservative boycotts against Star Wars, even though Mark Hamill is basically no longer affiliated with it, and the next movie, Mandalorian and Grogu, does not feature him. It only has Pedro Pascal. This is prompting conservatives such as Jack Posobiec to call for a mass boycott against Star Wars. And here's the thing: it's kind of a slam dunk if you think about it from Jack Posobiec's perspective, because this movie is already projecting a disappointing box office return. And when that inevitably happens, for totally unrelated reasons, mainly a general loss of faith in Disney's Star Wars, Jack can say, well, look at what I did.
Yes.
I just destroyed Disney. It's because I told all of my followers not to go to Mandalorian and Grogu for their principles. And conservatives are in a constant toxic on again, off again relationship with Star Wars and basically everything in the mainstream, especially, entertainment world, because they love, some of them at least, love Star Wars. And how do you just, force yourself not to enjoy something that you loved in a less crazy time?
Meaning in the context of
you're trying to prove a point.
Meaning in the context of like new versus old, because like you can still go back and rewatch the old stuff, and I don't think that bothers most people. It's funny, like whenever the shows that I loved, which are not the popular ones that we're talking here, everybody knows I love boomer television. As soon as they go off the rails, I just stop watching. And then I rewatch the old seasons and I think nothing of it because they just started making a product I no longer wanted to support, and that's perfectly fine. But Star Wars is a little bit different because of its cultural relevance, what it meant to whole generations of people. So
Jack said, the next Star Wars movie comes out in 2 weeks. All conservatives must boycott Mandalorian and Grogu after Mark Hamill wished death on Trump. Spread the word, send a message, hashtag dump Star Wars. Scott Pressler joined in saying, this is his threat, by the way. This is him threatening Disney. Probably not the best move, since a lot of Republicans would have bought Star Wars toys for Christmas.
I don't know if that's true.
Disney. It's like, okay, can we just accept that, you have no power over the Walt Disney Corporation? Like, you're not going to make a tweet that swings anyone in the direction of either buying or not buying something, basically.
You could make the argument that Disney did that damage themselves. There's no worse enemy for them than the people who are making their actual content. They kind of go back and forth. This is one of those things that, depending on the day, they will tell you that the people online, like the people that really went hard at Disney when things really started going bad around the time of The Last Jedi, the Fandom Menace dudes, all of them who made sure everyone understand just how bad Disney was going. And the people who were critics of them would shift back and forth between two narratives. One is it's a vocal minority, and two, they're so powerful they got our show canceled. And you can't really have both. You have to pick one. I don't know if I buy that that those channels got these shows canceled or gave these movies horrible box office. I'd be more likely to believe that consistently bad products did so, and then they spread the word as well, just not at the same level as making a bad movie does, because people are all too happy to get out of the habit of going to see your product, especially when everything is so expensive, if you don't consistently deliver on it.
Would that apply, what you just said, to The Acolyte?
I mean, The Acolyte was so far after things had gone down I think at that point nobody was watching anyways. They were hate watching, if anything.
Right.
It was too recent. Like, we'd have to be talking about stuff way prior to that. Like, for instance, when The Mandalorian came out, that was actually the biggest bright spot they had in quite some time post The Last Jedi. And then I don't remember when it came out, if the first season came out before or after The Rise of Skywalker. But there's been bad juju all around for Star Wars for quite some time, and the conservatives, I don't know if they're just catching up to this now, but you don't, like, Jack actually runs the risk of informing more people that a new Star Wars movie is coming out, because a lot of them probably had no idea.
Yeah, they're checked out for the most part. He also added, Disney fired Gina Carano. They are perfectly fine with what Mark Hamill said. Conservatives must boycott the new Star Wars movie. And I know, the point he's trying to make here is that the rhetoric Mark Hamill is spreading gets overlooked, and it's unremarkable because everyone on the left speaks that way. And Gina Carano was treated unfairly in an imbalanced way. However, Mark Hamill doesn't work for Disney.
He literally just did a May the 4th official post. So he's still
what does it mean by official, though?
Like he is still very much, because they invoked,
is he employed by Disney?
I guarantee you he's still making money off Disney, whether it be through residuals or likeness contracts. Like I don't think that you can divorce him that easily just because he's not currently putting a movie into production. He is connected with Disney forever.
Yeah, of course he's connected, but he's not currently employed by them to anyone's knowledge. So it's not exactly a thing where Disney could be like, well, we're being fair and balanced, so we're going to fire Mark Hamill for this.
I mean, they're making the point that they could denounce them. Like, I'm not going to expect a corporation like Disney to do that, nor do I care. But there's a 20 here from Pop Culture Junkie. Says, I've heard from the Mouse House that the first weekend confidential box office projections for The Mandalorian and Grogu are now being held in a safe that is as tight as Fort Knox. No one wants to discuss it. See, they should make a movie about that. They should make a movie about trying to go get the first weekend box office projections, like in the vein of a Mission Impossible movie.
I also want to mention this reply to Jack's tweet from, I believe, a conservative, saying, I don't agree with Disney firing Carano, which hurt the show anyway, and Mark Hamill is out of line, but neither of those things is stopping me from seeing Mandalorian and Grogu on the biggest screen possible. To which Jack responded, the slave mentality. He called this the slave mentality.
Yeah.
To still go see new Star Wars projects.
Do you know what the left version? Do you know what the left-wing version of this is right now?
No, but while you tell me, I'm going to blow my nose off camera.
The left-wing version of this right now, ladies and gentlemen, is what's going on with Melissa Barrera and the world's biggest Melissa Barrera fans, who are talking about anything Scream that gets made from now on, they will not support because of her getting fired by Spyglass. They're even saying they'll go as far as that they'll still want to watch the franchise because they still love Scream movies. They still want to interact with the art. They just don't want to pay for it. So they're like, torrent the next Scream movie if you must because of what happened to Melissa Barrera.
I mean, I won't say that I am above that if I felt that strongly. Yeah. But it's not quite the same.
In what way? They're both political. They're both politically motivated. One's just industry politics and the other one's traditional politics. It's disliking a franchise for something other than the content.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. And then she said the same thing where she was like, well, Scream 7 sucked anyways.
I love her.
So...
the more I sat with the idea that she just got up with her whole chest and said they lied about the box office, I was like, the level of petty and hurt that she has is like, I don't even think I could talk about it much anymore because I just feel bad. I kind of just feel bad for her.
But if you pressed her on it, she would like low-key start crying and she'd be like, because they just did, okay?
Exactly. If she wasn't so
they just lie. They're liars.
Yeah. So we covered the Mark Hamill thing yesterday. He needs Jesus, as I said.
Well, he's insane, but honestly, not that far off from a lot of deranged boomers on social media these days who aren't famous. He's just more visible than the other ones.
So
that's the sad truth. He's not like this because he's a celebrity. This is commonplace now.
Beyond the movies being a problem, the fact that they made like as much like saturated television content and as much mediocre television content as they did is why they're in the position they're in. Marvel's in the same position as well. I think it might be time to accept that outside of maybe a couple of rare examples, movie universes and television universes cannot coexist.
Why?
Because the whole point of a movie release is you need to deplete saturation so that people have a need to go and see it. And with something like Star Wars, you could make the argument that because it's a big universe, you can do both, but it's not a big universe. It's a brand, and a brand can be watered down, even if they're not the same stories. Like, it's the same problem with Marvel. It's the same problem with Star Wars. They're both suffering from the fact, and that's not even talking about the homework element. Like, I'm not even talking about the fact that people are like, bro, I don't know. Like, when was Loki in this last? Like, I don't know. Like, it's beyond that. It's like, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. They talk about that all the time. Like, the last impression that a franchise makes on you matters. And if you've consistently released a bunch of television content that is not even bad, just uninspiring and not worth finishing, how do you expect people to want to come back to the movies? So,
yeah, they're saturating the market.
All right, let's move on. Justin Bieber, hailing Satan. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, I am sorry to report that Justin Bieber has joined the Illuminati. He was captured on video sacrificing goats at a satanic ritual. And sadly, this means that I can no longer be a believer. So RIP to that era of my life. I'm no longer a believer. Just kidding, actually. But that's at least the tone of the conversation right now. Because Justin Bieber was seen performing at a shady conference for the billionaire class in California recently. It was kept under wraps. No journalists allowed inside. No one from the public allowed inside. But this photo here leaked because someone who worked at the hotel holding the conference secretly took it and posted it to his close friend's story to brag. And whoever screenshotted that shit and put it on Reddit, you're a fake friend.
Yep.
But
the group chat and the private messages, that's all that should be sacrosanct.
He captioned it, "You paid $2,000 for Biebercella, me show up to work on a Wednesday."
I sent this to Mary because I said, like, there is this new trend of private performances for groups that suffer from something I can only describe as being vaguely sinister sounding.
It does. I can't even lie to you. Like, this, no exaggeration, sounds really creepy. So here are the details. This was at something called the Wonder Conference, but remove the vowels. Just WNDR.
Very
Of
2010s.
course. They love that stuff. Can't wait for it to fall out of fashion. But this is run by Jeffrey Katzenberg, the founder of DreamWorks, who actually also founded Quibi, but that's just a footnote in his long career.
And a very big part of Disney's,
Yes.
entire history.
Yeah, so this is an annual conference that he puts on with industry leaders to have innovative conversations and synergy, but nobody can know what they're talking about. It has to be a secret. So this exclusive 3-day private event for Fortune 100 CEOs, tech entrepreneurs, and celebrities at the Rosewood Miramar in Montecito took place this week. And the agenda, which Puck News obtained a copy of, is mind-blowing. Among those on stage, forgive me if I can't pronounce all of these names, NVIDIA's Jensen Huang, Alibaba's Joe Tsai, Palantir's Alex Karp, Palmer Luckey, Oprah Winfrey, Bob Iger, YouTube's Neil Moen, Colossal's Ben Lamb, Pietro Barabaski, Planet Labs' Will Marshall, FIFA president Gianni Infantino, Chanel's Lena Nair, Axel Springer's Matthias Dopfner, Michael Govin, Melody Hobson, JoBen Beavert, Jeff Koons, Jim Morrison, James Cameron, Julia Roberts, Jason Sudeikis, Lionel Richie, Chris Rock, David Brooks, Brene Brown, Nancy Silverton, Nate Bargatze, Trevor Noah, John Coogan, and Jordy Hayes, and many more. And on Wednesday night, Justin Bieber performed a private show for attendees. Phones and cameras are not normally allowed, but he gave people permission to take photos. And they had a dinner cooked by famous LA chef Nancy Silverton. And then the Stargate duo, Tor Erik Hermansen and Mikkel Eriksson, led the group in a karaoke session that went past midnight.
Is this one of these really, really annoying team building outings that they do where they do trust falls, except for you trust fall into a pit of money?
Well, the thing is, you're never going to know because as this Bloomberg article expertly states, people are going to be even more suspicious and skeptical of the nature of an event like this if you don't let press in. And I'm no big fan of journalists either, and they're not known for being entirely truthful, but it just gives people weird vibes. And on the website for Wonder, by the way, if you don't know what this is, it's a venture capital firm. They provide seed funding, they're a holding company, and they have a page about Wonder Media. Through our signature Wonder gatherings, we curate rooms that matter. Founders, operators, visionaries, real conversations about what it actually takes to build what's next. We create the space where honest stories are told, meaningful relationships form, and the next chapter begins.
You know what the funny thing about this is? These are the people that actually could hire a hitman if they wanted to. They have an actual phone number to a Blackwater guy who can get them in touch with the guy. And just to say that this happened at the same time as hantavirus, I'm just saying. Do with that information what you will.
Hit the team page. Let's take a look at the team for Wonder because they're exactly who you expect them to be.
Wait, is it Wonder Co? Up here. I'm sorry. Yes, it is exactly who you expected them to be.
They just look so stereotypical. I have not heard of most of these people, by the way, but
wait.
I have heard of the companies in their portfolio. They have a very impressive portfolio here. SpaceX, Waymo, Robinhood, Anduril, and lots of other things. Polymarket is on here.
Only 2 quarter zips. I'm very impressed. Only 2 quarter zips.
Wow.
But it's kind of made up for by the collared shirt with the sweater over it.
They've probably switched over to a new status symbol after the quarter zip breached containment.
That's true.
Anyways, this is being widely misreported by Justin Bieber haters on Reddit. I poured over the thread and they claim he's performing at a private event for Palantir. It's not actually what happened. Although Alex Karp was in attendance, it was in no way sponsored or held or hosted by Palantir. But they captioned it, Justin Bieber, among many other celebrities such as Chris Rock and Julia Roberts, take paychecks to perform at the private Fortune 500 execs only retreat. And they're very saddened to see that Trevor Noah is also on the list because he's a favorite of theirs. It's so disappointing. We've known Justin was horrible, but Trevor's book was so amazing and inspiring. I don't know where he left his morals. Almost everyone has a price, regardless of what they say. And
meanwhile, all those guys, like Justin and him, are like, that's broke behavior. That's the slave mentality that Jack Posobiec was talking about.
This is just tech bros in Hollywood dapping each other up.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing new about that. But as for the conspiratorial nature of the speculations online, I thought this Bloomberg piece hit the nail on the head. He basically said, because we are not going to find out anything that was actually discussed in this closed door event, there is going to be even more public attention on it because you're Streisand affecting it. And that lends itself to baseless speculations that they're holding eyes wide shut style rituals. And who knows? Maybe they are.
Where does
I guess
one
literally
find,
it is. Who knows?
Like, where do they order the full length cloaks with the huge hoods? Like, where do you like? Do they hire someone? Are they actually made? Do they have like an in-house stylist or somebody who actually sews them for them, or do they mass produce? I suppose one of these people probably owns a cloak making company, and then they kind of pay themselves with some under the table bookkeeping.
Well, maybe they get it from Alibaba because the Alibaba
guy is on there.
Was there. By the way, Hailey Bieber was also in attendance, and she was put on a panel to interview the owner of Tiffany & Co., Alexander Arnault. So she was in attendance. They also had Greg Brockman, the president of OpenAI, and he did an on-stage conversation with the CEO of Instacart. And they also had Mark Milley, the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, speaking with retired Navy Admiral Bill McRaven, no doubt about geopolitical turbulence in Europe and the Middle East. But you won't read any firsthand accounts here or elsewhere in the press about the Katzenberg event. It was strictly off the record. Reporters were not welcome, and the event was kept away from social media. These kinds of private conferences where business and cultural leaders interview one another free from the pesky prying grasp of the press or public are becoming increasingly common. I think Wonder is just the more well-known, but there are many of these that he lists. Former Google chairman Eric Schmidt has hosted a gathering of celebrities, politicians, and tech execs every year at the Yellowstone Club in Big Sky, Montana.
Yeah, these are the ones where so every picture of David Zaslav is him in a quarter zip at one of these types of events. Or not a quarter zip, I'm sorry, just the vest.
The Patagonia, or maybe they have a more expensive version of the Patagonia.
He wears the expensive vest with the collared shirt, and he's always walking in and out of those events because that's what you do when you're a CEO.
Jeff Bezos has also held an annual event for the entertainment industry, and another called the Mars Conference, which is about space exploration and robotics. There's also the East Meets West Conference from the tech investment fund Co2. I don't know if I said that right. Usually in Montecito as well, and off limits to the press. And then the famous, I've never heard of this one, Allen & Co. conference in Sun Valley, Idaho, known as a summer camp for billionaires, usually keeps most members of the media outside the venue peeking in. Perhaps I'm not so subtly manifesting jealousy over the fact that I didn't score an invite to any of these gatherings, but I think there are unintended consequences when important leaders in business and politics gather and keep the media at bay. Secrecy all too easily breeds skepticism and conspiracy. The Bilderberg meeting, an annual off-the-record event, offers one example. Rumors of a shadowy world government swirl around the event and seem to wildly exaggerate its importance.
So is this like World Economic Forum stuff?
It's probably much like the material in, World Economic Forum panels, except that is televised for some reason.
I did see this week, it would have been really interesting to put in here if I was better at my job. I would have thought about this before the show started. But One of the things that was going on this week is all the CEOs' earnings for the year were coming out, and they were comparing all the big CEOs' earnings versus like the median employee at their company, and then pretending. You know what my favorite cope is when they're like, make the McDonald's CEO work at McDonald's for a week. Make the Disney CEO work at Disneyland for a week, as if that guy, as soul sucking as it is, couldn't do your job for a week. Whereas if you were put in charge
His
of
job is 100% harder.
Yes, like as if being put in charge of a billion-dollar corporation or billions of dollars of entities isn't like a ton of work. It's just work that pays really, really well, and you get to do from a private jet.
By the way, since you mentioned that Justin Bieber is likely candidate to perform at one of these private events based on his past behavior, I want to mention that this was in 2021. He performed in Saudi Arabia at the Formula One Grand Prix, an event organized under the direction of Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. So it wasn't someone's Sweet 16, but it might as well be. And we also discussed, I forget the name of the person, but it was some extremely wealthy Indian family that held a lavish wedding in, I think, maybe 2023.
But Justin
had like Rihanna and Nick Jonas, I think.
But they did do one where Justin did like a Sweet 16 recently, right?
Really?
Am I imagining that? Because when I heard that, I was like, what 16-year-old is like clamoring for the Justin Bieber concert in 2025 last year?
No, he has young fans for sure. Okay. They do like his new stuff. Yeah. Okay. I'm looking for that, and I don't see it.
Maybe I was imagining that one. Maybe I'm imagining that one. I could have swore we did.
What? He better phone it in. He better phone in the performance.
He's like, baby, baby.
Just as much as he phoned in his performance at Coachella.
He did not phone it in at Coachella, ladies and gentlemen. That is all fake news. It was great. But I do like the idea of him just being up there and like not dancing, and he's like,
but he also like did them the courtesy of wearing a shirt and shoes.
Well, dress code enforced.
I mean, he'll dress up, meaning wearing clothes for the billionaires, but not his fans.
I'm sure somebody's gonna be Justin? Like, he'll only do it for Israel. Other than that, it's
he'll only do it for Palantir. He'll only wear socks and slides
for BB and Palantir.
BB, yeah.
All right, let's move on. What would you like to see, the cringe or the cute?
Let's see the cringe first.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say first off, this guy is spitting. I think that he's making great points.
Okay, here we go. Hold on. Cringe of the day. Here we go.
Really just grow up? Or is that like a crazy question to ask nowadays? Yes, I have a monocle. Laugh it up. Laugh it up, man. I have bad vision in my left eye. I've had bad vision in this eye ever since I was a child. Okay? I have 20/20 vision in my right eye. Explain to me why it would make sense to wear glasses with two lenses on my face. I don't need two lenses. I have one lens over one eye. So yes, I have a monocle. I wear it regularly. I don't understand what's so fucking funny about that. There's been plenty of...
I'm sorry, but the fucking reflection in the one monocle is fucking taking me out right now.
Of important people throughout our history who have worn monocles. No one was laughing then. Why is it a funny thing now? Why is it a comedic thing, a thing for people to make fun of me now? Call me Mr. Monopoly Man and shit. Like, he doesn't even wear a monocle. First off, that's Mandela effect, okay? So these insults don't even hold any weight to them. Please stop making fun of people based on their appearance. I thought we've moved past that as a society. Okay?
He's got the, like the 90s rocker beard, like non-existent beard at the bottom.
The non-existent goatee.
Yeah. I don't know if that's... Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but when in Ace Ventura, when he's at the event and he goes, "You must be the Monopoly guy," did that guy have a monocle? Perhaps that is where the Mandela effect comes for that one, but I'm not 110% sure. I need to
I
go
always thought that the
rewatch them.
Pringles guy and the Monopoly man were the same person.
They are not. They're also, he could just wear glasses with different prescriptions. Most people's eyes aren't the same in both sides. You usually
Stop hating on his monocle. Let him live.
I got a friend who looks like this guy. Like a friend. I got a friend who looks like
monocle.
Who looks like less bloated version of this guy. But you know, I'm on this guy's side.
You know what? Let's bring back monocles.
Yeah. But if you wore a monocle
worn by some great men in history.
Okay. Cue of the day. This one's from Chris, Sunny Buns, and Maggie McGee, and they are freaking out.
Okay,
I
this
like
angle
it.
is a little scary.
That's okay. That's okay.
But okay.
They're having a
They're
good time. I'm very excited to go see The Sheep Detective tonight. Olivia is beyond excited. Like, so the whole episode yesterday, we were basically getting into, like, me and Brandon were talking, we were like geeking out over Mortal Kombat. And when we were watching the movie the other day, me and Olivia, I was like, oh, she's going to fucking hate this because it's so violent. And after seeing it, she wouldn't have liked it, but I think she'd have been all right.
It wasn't as violent as you
expected? No, it was there, but the violence was pretty cartoonish outside of a few specific places. I'll get into it in my review, but Sheep Detective is way more... I still can't figure out if it's made for kids or adults.
That's what I was confused about when I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
Because it's mixing live action with animation.
We'll have to wait and see.
Did they use curse words?
I don't think I heard any curse words in there.
Okay.
It seems like it feels like it shouldn't be a PG-13 movie. It feels like it should either be a PG movie or an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
it shouldn't be in the middle there. So, all right, let's move on. We've got more stuff to get into today.
Yes. So what do you do when you're aging out of Hollywood sex symbol bombshell status, but you still want to make that coin? Excuse me, you still want to connect with your fans. My mistake. Jaime Pressly is the most recent example of a growing number of stars that are jumping ship from mainstream Hollywood into OF. She is selling her body online. As far as I know, I haven't subscribed, but she has officially launched her OnlyFans. I suspect at the prompting of her good friend, Shannon Elizabeth, who also recently joined OF. And they posted this photo together just weeks ago on Instagram. And I suppose that they were probably having conversations about how to best cross-promote their content to their fans, quote unquote. And I'm just going to start off by saying Jaime Pressly knows exactly what she's doing. And I would be so pissed if I were Margot Robbie right now, because everyone knows she is the number one person people name as a Margot Robbie doppelganger in Hollywood. The resemblance is, it's impossible to deny. And I guarantee you a lot of the people who are going to subscribe to her page are doing so for the resemblance to Margot Robbie. It's almost like, you know, you can't say it explicitly because she can't help the fact that she looks the same as Margot Robbie, but like it's there. And I'm just letting you know, Jaime, that I see what you're doing and I don't appreciate it. So I looked at her page and she has this really cringy bio that's like, this is the side of me that Hollywood won't let you see. It's horrible.
As if Hollywood wasn't like all too ready to let you see that side of her when she was younger.
Yeah, she gave a statement about her decision to join OF in Variety. I've always believed in evolving with the times. This is another way for me to connect directly with my audience on my own terms with creativity and intention. I've loved meeting fans at various Comic-Cons, and the excitement of having those real face-to-face moments made me want to seek options like OnlyFans. It's just... having face-to-face interactions with my fans made me want to not have face-to-face interactions with my fans.
The thing, like,
that's
so
the quiet part out loud.
One of the hallmark stories of Mortal Kombat 2 is aging Johnny Cage. He was a 90s action star, and then you fast forward to current year, and he's at a convention, and nobody's coming to his booth. He's sitting there like
Is that
this.
what happened to Jaime Pressly? I'm not aware of her star power the way you are because
She was a big deal.
I'm a Gen Zer, so
I did
only
laugh
knew about her in reference to Margot Robbie.
I did laugh at this bit of trivia on her on her IMDb that says she hates doing love scenes. Feels that even a stage kiss is too intimate. I'm guessing that is an old quote. She was apparently legally emancipated at 15.
In contrast, I'll just read to you her bio on OnlyFans. The camera may catch one version of me. This is where things get a little more personal, playful, and completely unfiltered.
Oh, the word
and then
playful.
there's the pepper emoji, like a red chili pepper emoji. Here you'll find exclusive photos and videos, behind the scenes moments from my life, late night thoughts and candid moments, direct chats with me. She means probably an Indian scammer. The side of me Hollywood doesn't always get to see. A little sweet, a little wild, always authentic. If you've ever wondered what I'm really like when the script ends, come closer. Kissy emoji.
I don't think she
Location,
wrote that.
your DMs.
I don't think she wrote that. I don't
No,
think she wrote that.
No.
Penthouse Forum
Yeah.
is not in her skill set. I'm guessing that she had a professional write that. Here's the thing. Before we get into the rest of it, she has worked very consistently throughout the years. If you look at her IMDb, like there's credits, like the one where you have to like unfold, but it's not extensive, right? It's like one a year. But she was in, what was it? Not According to Jim. Is that the one that she was in that was very, very popular? But she was like she was in a show called Mom, which I've never heard of, and went from she was in there from 2014 to 2021, did 127 episodes. So she was working very consistently that whole time. And then it was My Name is Earl. I'm sorry, not Life According to Jim. 96 episodes, but that was all the way back between 2005 and 2009. Might as well be a lifetime ago. You got to keep working in that industry. The money dries up quick between your agent, your manager, all the fees. Living in assuming she's living in California.
Do you mean that she has been working consistently since My Name is Earl ended?
Yeah. I mean, she's not doing.
Can the same be said of Shannon Elizabeth?
I don't know about Shannon Elizabeth, but I do know that she's like. But the thing is, working consistently doesn't equal out to making enough money to survive. Doing a couple of guest episodes a year is nothing.
Well, let's be clear. Survive is a bold choice of word there, because what they really want to do is maintain the same lifestyle that they had at the peak of their career. And in this situation, you're not getting past the same roles. Thank you. Yeah, you're not getting the same jobs that you used to because, quite frankly, you're not as hot as you used to be. And then you go to OnlyFans. They also mentioned that she has a management agency called Creators Inc., and they got a statement from the CEO, Andy Bachman, who helped consult with Jaime Pressly on her OnlyFans launch. He said, Jaime Pressly has the rare mix of mainstream star power and a real audience connection that modern platforms reward. She is an elite entertainer, and fans are going to love what she creates here. Elite entertainer is a stretch, I would say. And the craziest next chapter that could take place here is if the whole list of Margot Robbie doppelgangers follow suit and start OnlyFans as well. Emma Mackey is the other one who people cite in conversations about Margot Robbie doppelgangers.
I did laugh
as well
this
as
one.
Samara Weaving.
They need to recreate the Spider-Man meme together.
Yeah.
All pointing at one another. They need to do that.
But I just think it's shady. If I were in this position and like someone who looks exactly like me made an OF, yeah, I'd be mad. Because
I don't
we all
see
know
Emma Mackey. I mean, I guess it's just because she's got the brown hair, but Emma Mackey, I don't see it as...
Emma Mackey in
or
Sex
some-
Education looks a lot more like Margot Robbie.
Like, this is, whoever did this Instagram post is one of the less gifted ones. Usually when people make these types of posts, they are A plus at finding the perfect photo that makes them look exactly like. This isn't even trying, and Jaime Pressly looks more like Margot Robbie than the other two, at least in my opinion.
Jaime Pressly is now 48, and she supposedly walked so that Margot Robbie could run.
Look, I'm just all I was saying before is like, if I don't know if this is one of those things where she's gonna do the bathing suit photos that would normally go to her Instagram. Now they're gonna be funneled over there. But if the idea here is that she's gonna do the other stuff, it is the celebrity porn version of the girl from high school who comes back with 3 kids and suddenly wants to settle down with you.
Beat it, Jake.
Your time has passed. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it's more.
There's nothing wrong with your time passing because that happens to everybody. But there is something wrong, in my opinion, which is correct, with selling your body online. Okay, it's embarrassing. It's unfortunate to see this happening, and it's not just with OF. Like, I recently saw this clip of, I think, Heidi Klum on Hot Ones. She did a Hot Ones interview recently, and they're eating all this hot sauce, so the whole point is seeing their comical reactions to the spice. But she unbuttons her top and shows everyone her bra, and it's like, lady, this is unbecoming of a woman your age, and also really any woman of any age. Just stop. And Heidi Klum's weird relationship with her daughter is a huge red flag. There's some weird like Freudian situation going on there because she's living vicariously through her daughter, who looks like her but is more attractive because she's younger, and it's just like they're doing lingerie photo shoots together.
It's Denise Richards and her daughter as well.
Yeah, it's a common
Sammy Sheen
thread.
Yeah,
I even see like people who are quite evidently like moms and daughters walking around on Broadway here in Nashville wearing the craze.
I don't know what that means.
At night, like they're wearing, almost nothing, and they're allowing their like sometimes teenage daughters to walk around with them in the middle of the night on Broadway, going from bar to bar.
They did,
and it's like you're doing that because it gives you some kind of weird ego boost.
They did that in an episode of House where a mom is like she's basically she goes to the clinic to have House the doctor tell her kid that they can't have an ice cream cake for their birthday because it's bad for you, and the kid's very young, and he basically just makes fun of the mom the whole time about how what she really, because they're dressed kind of the same, and basically says like, you're just doing this so that people will say, oh, you can't be a mom, you're way too young,
you look like sisters.
Yeah, like, get your kid a damn ice cream cake, don't let your kid do this.
I also looked it up, and I found that Jaime Pressly has done tons of brand deals before they were known as brand deals in the age of social media. She was a spokesmodel for Liz Claiborne Cosmetics in 2000, and she did a bunch of skincare ads. She was in an Axe commercial in 2010. So, I guess she just wasn't getting offers anymore for mainstream.
I don't even know if I buy that. Like,
or brand deals, and couldn't stay afloat, or at least, couldn't live the same lifestyle that she was used to.
I bet you if you looked at her Instagram, I'm like looking at it here. Yeah, it looks like it's mostly posts about work that she's done, but I find it hard to believe that she couldn't get product brand deals and stuff like that. Like,
she doesn't have that many followers comparatively to...
Well, she doesn't use social media. Like 387 followers is pretty good considering she doesn't use it in the interactive sense. It's mostly like stuff like pressers for work that she's doing. It's not like it's engaged content that gives you like a behind the scenes look at her life. It's mostly just these types of images. If it was more stuff like this, it'd be better.
it is probably managed by someone else or a team of people. But that's another thing, like the bloat of your life when you have to be and stay famous increases the amount of money you have to spend. You have to have a team of employees to maintain your public image, and that becomes very expensive. So I'm sure that's one of the factors in here as well. It's just kind of tragic.
All right. Well, with that depressing start to the main topics, let's move on. There's more stuff to get into.
Speaking of women being objectified against their will, Scarlett Johansson's interview about the portrayal of Black Widow in Iron Man 2 has recirculated. This was something she said back in 2021 when she was promoting the MCU's Black Widow movie. And she was comparing how the character evolved over the years with, you know, the Me Too movement and women being empowered in media. And she just feels like Black Widow was a one-dimensional sex pot, and she got to really give it some substance. And I'll get to this in a moment, but I think Scarlett Johansson kind of laid the blueprint for someone like Sydney Sweeney to step into Hollywood in the position she's in. But Sydney Sweeney perfected the method.
Can you explain that to me?
So Scarlett Johansson is part of this generation of actresses who, of course, is a generational beauty, but felt the need to constantly overcompensate for that in trying to be taken seriously by men. And she then took on a lot of these desexed roles in serious, nuanced movies to counteract the idea that she's a brainless bimbo, basically. Marriage Story is an example of that. She's also moved on to producing, and she's executive producing a new series for Netflix right now. She's also been cast in an A24 movie directed by Ari Aster called Scapegoat. This is the direction she's taken her career because she wants to be taken seriously. And I'm going to go find this quote in its full context. She did an interview with Collider, which is notorious for asking questions like this. But they said, there is a sort of sexualization of superheroes. How did that affect Black Widow? And she said, and by the way, this is a spoken interview that was transcribed, so it's going to sound a little bit wonky.
I don't actually even agree with that statement. Like this
the sexualization of superheroes. Well, that's just embedded in the premise of the question, right? It's a loaded question.
Like when they show Thor basically naked, it's not sexual.
It's played for laughs.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like it's not like there are characters that excel at that. Like people mentioned Red Sonja, or a Black Widow. There are characters that work within that realm, but these days they water it down so that you don't see any of it. Anyways, anybody who watched the masterpiece that was the early 2000s show Mortal Kombat Conquest, which of course I'm being sarcastic about because it's truly horrendous in the best way possible. It's unbelievably sexualized with the female characters. Like it's like somebody from Stuff magazine back then wrote the episodes. And Jamie Presley, oddly enough, was in 3 of those episodes. And I'm like, nobody hired her for her acting. But the point is, like, that was the style of the time. That all but evaporated by the time the late 2010s, especially. Even by the early 2010s, there was far less of that than what we're talking about in the early 2000s.
Well, then what year was Iron Man 2?
Iron Man 1 was 2008, so I don't know what year 2 came out. Somebody in the chat will know the year.
She said, it definitely has changed. And I think part of that change is probably, it's hard because I'm inside it, but probably a lot of that is from me too. I'll be 35 years old and I'm a mom and my life is different. 10 years have passed and things have happened. I have a much different, more evolved understanding of myself. As a woman, I'm in a different place in my life. And I felt more forgiving of myself as a woman, and sometimes probably not enough. I'm more accepting of myself. All of that is related to that move away from the kind of hypersexualization of this character. And you look back at Iron Man 2, and while it was really fun and had a lot of great moments in it, the character is so sexualized. Really talked about like she's a piece of something, like a possession or a thing or whatever, like a piece of ass, really. And Tony even refers to her as something like that at one point.
She's like, I want it.
What does he say? I want some.
Yep.
Yeah, and at one point calls her a piece of meat, and maybe at that time that actually felt like a compliment. You know what I mean? Because my thinking was different. Maybe I even would have, my own self-worth was probably measured against that type of comment. Or like a lot of young women, you come into your own and you understand your own self-worth. It's changing now. Now people and young girls are getting a much more positive message. But it's been incredible to be a part of that shift and be able to come out on the other side and be a part of that old story, but also progress, evolve. I think it's pretty cool.
First of all, she's not in the vein of a Sydney Sweeney, because she did like Lost in Translation in 2004. She always did roles like that, kind of in the same way that Angelina Jolie did a lot of that in her early career as well. I believe that they kind of managed to be both the sex symbol of their time, as well as do more than just those types of roles. But for her specifically, the thing she's failing to understand, or at the very least they're not going to be willing to admit, is that it wasn't her story. So fleshing out her character wasn't the point. If anything, it's to show you elements of Tony. It's playing on the elements of Tony still being a little bit of that playboy that he was in the first movie. All of that kind of gets stripped away and disappears as Tony Stark matures throughout the movies. But her purpose in that movie is not to be a fully fleshed out character.
Yeah, but that idea that you just voiced is deemed unacceptable now, So
well, they're wrong.
Someone expanded on it and referenced a scene where Black Widow strips down to her bra and panties in the back of a car, and a character who is the actual director ogles her. And they're agreeing with her assessment of the old portrayal of Black Widow compared to 2021. And they expand on this in the Collider interview, saying, so heroines haven't always been empowered in stories, but we've been demanding a lot more now of heroines, and empowerment means different things to different people. I was just wondering, what is empowerment to you? How has it changed since you started playing Natasha, and how is it interpreted in this version of Natasha? And she says, I think that actually goes back to the other question about this hypersexualization, because actually Natasha uses her sexuality as a means to sort of manipulate a situation and then be coquettish and sly, and then she's going to take your legs out. She's going to be seductive in this way, and that's her power. Her power is in her sexuality, and then that changed over time. Her strength was actually her vulnerability. That's the kind of place that we're in now. And then in Endgame, she sacrifices herself out of love. She saves her friend. She saves everyone. And I think that being in that kind of headspace and being able to make that decision, that selfless act, is so incredibly powerful. It's amazing that she could be in the place to do that. So she's basically saying the Iron Man 2 one-dimensional version of Black Widow could have never been portrayed making a decision like that. But also, like you said, it wasn't a movie about Black Widow. Maybe
that's just their tacit admission that they'd never be willing to make, because a lot of people's biggest complaint was that they made the movie too late. Obviously, her movie came out after Endgame, after she'd already made the ultimate sacrifice, so it seemed kind of superfluous. But maybe the point is, like, since they weren't willing to lean wholly into the sexualization, they never could have made the movie in the earlier version of it without it feeling like they were skipping past all that character development for the sake of political correctness to show her in a separate, in the more, I guess, less of the spy way and more of the action star way. She does do that, right? Like, basically it's like, men are stupid. Like, she shows up in front of a guy and smiles, and the guy goes, duh. And then she kicks his legs out, which is silly, but it makes sense. It works perfectly for the character. But I don't know. All of it is very...
One of the counterpoints that I saw repeatedly in the quote tweets was a claim that Black Widow is a femme fatale archetype, and therefore it makes perfect sense for her to be hypersexualized.
Can't do that. Can't do
they're
that.
saying, no, this isn't a portrayal of a femme fatale because she's not portrayed as having any sort of calculated nature behind her behavior. She's just sexualizing herself for the sake of it.
They also talk about how she's like a spy, but they don't show her doing spy things. She's, you know, she's going on missions, I guess. Like when she goes with Cap in Winter Soldier, like or Civil War and stuff like that. She's not doing the spy thing unless I'm sure there's appearances that I'm not thinking of, but it's all very like it was a product of the 2010s. I think for the time it was still very much tame, and let's face it, she built a massive second half of her career off that. She was already famous. She was already very well known.
Yeah, well, people are just like, it takes some nerve to retroactively talk shit about this movie when you were happy to take the check at the time. But her explanation is that she was just insecure.
There's a 20 from Weary Traveler says, Mary, I'm out of zins. Can I borrow one of yours and give it back when I'm done?
No. But if I could teleport one to you and not get it back, I would. I promise. Back to this connection to Sydney Sweeney's career trajectory, though, I wanted to reference this piece that Jamie Marshall wrote in Evie, I believe. So she's basically saying that Scarlett Johansson is partially responsible for setting out like Sydney Sweeney's career playbook, but she never took it to its full potential. She said, if you look at a woman like Scarlett Johansson, exceptionally beautiful, a voluptuous sex symbol, she had a nagging insecurity about her public perception. This idea that you could be the hot girl or have substance, but not both. This insecurity shines through in her repeated attempts to prove how much she is more than just a pretty face. Other famous sex symbols make it their mission to prove their capacity to be cerebral. I think Megan Fox is a great example of this. However, this is still operating within a male lens, wanting men to take them seriously. Women don't have as much difficulty digesting multifaceted woman who is hot, smart, and talented. There is a psychological term, the Madonna whore complex. I'm not suggesting that all or even most men operate within this worldview. It would certainly explain female depictions throughout history. In a post-bimbo world, women can embrace roles like the bimbo or sex symbol without paranoias about being taken seriously because those who get it, and those who don't. This is a sort of sexual politics responsible for the rise of Sydney Sweeney, someone who intentionally leans into the male gaze and by the act of leaning into it at the same time subverts it. And she's had no trouble taking on nuanced roles despite her public image as a bombshell, something that probably couldn't have happened in 2005. The male gaze is by nature voyeuristic. It takes pleasure in gazing at women who are not gazing back, but Sydney Sweeney is gazing back. These subtle dynamics do change the nature of whether something is seen as exploitative or empowering.
Can you read the part about the male gaze again? Her description of the male gaze?
That it's by nature voyeuristic. It takes pleasure in gazing at a woman who is not gazing back.
I never heard I've never heard that description of it specifically being about them not gazing back. I've never heard that in the description of the male gaze. I think that's an overly analytical approach to the term as it's generally used, which is just to make things for the sake of men to look. I think you're adding a layer on top of it that's never been there, and it's certainly not there to the average guy. He's not concerned with whether you're looking back or not, unless, of course, it's in the context of some type of socio-political discussion.
Well, I do think that her analysis of Sydney Sweeney's career trajectory is accurate because Sydney Sweeney, at this point, is notorious for taking roles in movies that do not appeal to her predominantly male fan base. And she does these nuanced art nerd roles, like Immaculate, for instance, that have basically zero connection to the public persona that she portrays normally in Sydney Sweeney mode. But Scarlett Johansson felt like she had to bifurcate those things needlessly. And that's why she completely abandoned being the sex symbol so that she could be taken seriously, when in fact there is a false dichotomy that she just imposed on herself in the process. But yeah, I mean, Scarlett Johansson has done the same thing that Sydney Sweeney is doing and plans to do in the latter half of her career, which is producing.
Yeah.
And that's probably more lucrative and is it doesn't have an expiration date.
I guess my main critique of what she's saying is that the average dude who goes to a Scarlett Johansson movie that has to any Black Widow showing is not looking at her with malice. So the idea that they're going to be shamed after the fact for looking is a bit frustrating, because it's layering some level of intent on them as if they're doing it in some type of lecherous manner. But in that case, it's a mass marketed product on a PG-13 movie. Give me a break.
Yeah, you're not a peeping Tom.
Give me a break and stop putting a bunch of intent where no intent actually is.
It's giving, my eyes are up here.
Up here. All right, let's move on. We've got more stuff to get into. We'll never hate Gwyneth Paltrow, no matter what she says here.
Yeah, no, I am never not going to have just the slightest affection for Gwyneth Paltrow, even though she is totally out of touch and not self-aware and elite. She somehow still gets a pass in my book. But recently she had an interesting guest on her Goop podcast, a tech journalist named Kara Swisher. And on it, they discussed the intersections between tech companies and the entertainment industry, and how tech and what's coming out of Silicon Valley is encroaching more and more on our lives and our privacy. It was a larger discussion, but this part got clipped and is making the rounds, where Gwyneth Paltrow, who is worth $200 million net worth, complains about the super rich white dudes that are ruining society.
Let's listen to it. Hold on. Here we go. Break it down for us, Gwyneth.
How do you think we got to this place in culture where sort
Prepare
of
for the
nothing
jump scare,
matters,
guess, by the way.
and now all that matters is these kind of super rich white dudes who are breaking rules, setting rules, you know, seemingly like not caring so much about the downstream impact on everything, mental health, culture.
They don't think they're responsible for the dead. I think we have an idolatry of innovators, an idolatry of wealth. And if you're wealthy, you must be smarter, when they got all manner of shortcuts. And the innovations that they took advantage of were paid by the American public, by the way. The internet was invented by the United States government, not them.
Right.
And it's great to be innovative and make these things, and this rocket stuff. I'm so impressed by what SpaceX is doing. We can argue about the valuation of it, but it's still astonishing. And at the same time, why does a small homogeneous group of people get to decide for the rest of us?
Okay.
So the guest actually seems to have a more balanced view of the tech bro billionaires in question than Gwyneth Paltrow does. She was at least willing to give them props for innovating. But a random Anon who quote tweeted this made an incisive point. Gwyneth Paltrow, much like many others in her industry, would rather worship artists than industrialists. And I think this is why so many people get a pass from being lumped in as one of the evil billionaires, as long as they made their money supposedly by doing something creative in the arts. That's deemed acceptable. But if they are industrialists, if they work in tech or aerospace, that's not okay. And it's just an odd double standard that they have for the billionaires in their own social circles. And Gwyneth Paltrow, although she is not a billionaire, is still unfathomably wealthy. And it's not because she made all that money off of movies. It's because of her entrepreneurship. So she should supposedly like respect that in other people, but I guess because they're rich old white dudes, it's not okay.
Well, I wonder how she feels about the fact that Paramount is about to be like 49% owned by Saudi Arabia and Qatar and the Middle East. Is it okay if they're rich, not white dudes? Is that okay?
I would love to ask her.
Does he? I just I mean, the thing they never mention is that the reason that they're given dominion over you is because it's not about how much money they make, it's about how much risk they take. So for all of them to reach the level of wealth that they did, like I said when I was reading that whole article about Ted Turner, his life was just a series of massive risks that paid off for him. And most of the people who want to criticize how the rich spend their money. First of all, I think that the average person who's maybe detached from the political discussion and just kind of finds it weird that you have a right to another person's money of any sort is more offended by the idea that you get to be the arbiter of how much a person can succeed more than anything. Like, nobody wants to have a cap put on their potential, so the logical through line is that if you're not a hypocrite, you shouldn't see a need for them to put a cap on somebody else's possibilities. And this is coming from somebody like me who's very critical of venture capital these days. I think for the most part, when I see it enter industries like the medical, like the healthcare industry, stuff like that, I see the quality of things going down. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about space exploration. And like, she brought up the fact that the internet was created by the US government, right? So they would love it if all of it was government owned, and thus, ironically enough, more expensive for you or I, because it would be being pulled from our tax dollars. Now, that's not entirely a fair assessment, because Elon does get tons of government contracts and things like that. So he's very intertwined.
As do all of these people.
Yes, they're very intertwined with the US government. But all of this is kind of in the weeds. And it's more of an argument that they're the have-nots who want to tell the people that take the risks to become the haves how they should live. And if you're morally and philosophically consistent and you believe that people have a right to keep what they make, outside of a more nuanced discussion, it's just very repetitive.
I guarantee you that Gwyneth Paltrow is a fiscal conservative, though, because she wants to protect what she has earned with her company. Don't see why that shouldn't apply.
But what if tomorrow they came here and said, look, we found... This is incredible. Like, you're Gwyneth Paltrow. You're sitting at home, and you get a knock on the door from a dude at DARPA. He's like, we found out that vagina-scented candles can cure cancer. She's not going to turn it over to the U.S. government. She's going to be like, I'm going to make a fortune.
No. That was an interesting comment that someone left on my video about the Met Gala, saying, well, all of this is why the state should fund the arts. Not a private citizen like Jeff Bezos in that scenario. And I was like, do you think that means that it's free? Like, why are we going back to kindergarten?
You have to stop. Like, I think the best thing you could do is, like, word association matters, and people need to stop saying government. Like, if you want to break the spell with some people, stop saying government funded and start saying taxpayer funded.
Yeah. Exactly. And I also said, when you give that over to the government, that gives them total control over the arts. So I don't really see how that's a solution.
It's not.
And also, like, in that specific example, I have no reason to believe that Jeff Bezos or Lauren Sanchez had any creative input whatsoever into the Met Museum exhibit or the theme of the Met Gala.
There's a 20 from Pop Culture Junkie. Says Cameron Diaz had a similar path to Johansson. After her bombshell role in The Mask, she bounced around between crowd pleasers and thoughtful indie films with new directors. Well, it was probably more entertaining to make indie films back then when there was an actual market for it and there was money to be made in DVD sales.
Yeah, definitely has changed. I just wanted to mention a couple of really cringy comments from fans of Gwyneth Paltrow on this podcast episode that perfectly encapsulate the type of crazy white woman who loves listening to discussions like this. One said, Kara Swisher is the queen of giving no Fs, and I admire that so much.
What does that mean?
And then another comment about the last 10 seconds of the episode. Kara Swisher says she doesn't like Timothée Chalamet, Gwyneth Paltrow's co-star in Marty Supreme. And she said it's because he reminds me of so many women I've dated in the 90s. And they're like, wow, that was such a mic drop moment. The last 10-second mic drop is an ode to all of us Gen X queer women out there. Call it as you see it, Kara. They're totally detached from reality, but
I mean, the real fact is like the small group gets to decide it because they take all the risk.
yeah.
What is it? 40% of your taxes are funded by the top 1%.
Is it top 1% or is it top like
1%, something like that. It's whatever the number is. It's like most of the people complaining about it are not the ones paying the taxes. They're getting a refund.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think that she is probably coming from a place that I don't think she'd be able to articulate this, but we have a feeling that like most of these 0.01 percenters have terrible values, which they do, but they're not all that different from the values of people in Hollywood and the entertainment industry, so they have no room to talk.
Gwyneth Paltrow's like, I would criticize Elon Musk, but he was at the latest Bohemian Grove concert with Justin Bieber, and we were actually sitting next to each other.
Yeah, like they're all social climbers who lack a moral center.
I just think it's part of their religion, and they have to talk about this stuff. They have to talk about and this is why I've told everybody to pay attention to why they use billionaire with a B so liberally, because they don't want themselves to be included in the discussions about the rich versus the poor, because they know that Marxist ideology is rampant on their side of the aisle, and to clear themselves of any wrongdoing, they have to remove themselves from the category of oppressor, and they've done that by making the millionaires not the wealthy. It's only the billionaires you must complain about.
And it is just rich coming from Gwyneth Paltrow. Sorry, no wordplay intended there. Because she is known for being one of the most out of touch elite celebrities out there. They mentioned during an interview with The Hollywood Reporter in 2025, she shared that she is aware of her reputation and went into detail about how her privileged upbringing has fed into years of criticism, and explains how she worked through many misconceptions surrounding her reputation. She said, "It must be a quality I give off. I come from a very waspy mother with Mayflower roots, daughter of the American Revolution, all that kind of stuff. So maybe epigenetically, there is some of that there. And I was a very privileged kid. I grew up on the Upper East Side, and I went to a great school and all the things. So some of the stuff that he sees, which is also the stuff I've been criticized for my whole life, is real."
Okay, good for her.
So you're exactly who you're complaining about.
At least she's simultaneously both very self-aware and not self-aware at all at the same time. It's kind of
Don't
impressive.
care. I still like Gwyneth.
All
I
right.
still like her.
All right, let's go to Super Chats. Ladies and gentlemen, we're like pretty close to a second crisis party. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Come on.
Shane H. Wilder said, they are all real bands from the late 90s. Squirrel Nut Zipper's big hit was called Hell. It was used in Blast from the Past 1999 with Brendan Fraser.
Okay. By the way, we've got a Rumble rant here. Where did I just see this here? We had a 20 over on Rumble. From West 422 says, how does Barrera not know that Mel Gibson was canceled for speaking against Israel long before she was long before she was? I think there needs to be a period there. Zero work for 6 years in his case. She didn't even do it for Christian reasons. Disappointing.
Well, to my knowledge, I think Mel Gibson wasn't talking about Israel. But, I'm not going to quote that. Cleggy said, Mary, true Star Wars fans are the Catholic Church. Disney Star Wars fans are Mormons/LDS. Hope this helps.
Well, as a channel that recently had Kai Schwemmer on, I can't abide.
Yeah, he's our favorite Mormon. Well, I don't know.
Kai is going to win the world over with his winning smile. That's how he's going to win the world over.
Tough competition out there. There are a lot of likable Mormons, but yeah. So, okay, the analogy is like original, like OG Star Wars from the 70s is Catholicism, and then the prequels are Protestant churches, and then Disney Star Wars is LDS? I don't know.
I hear so many people on X will have discussions about this story is actually a Christian story. And then I try to think back to every show I've ever loved and wondered if I could like make a case for something like that. And I'm just like, nope, thing go boom, gun go off. I keep watch.
Most of these we're talking about hero's journey stories.
Mm-hmm.
And that is an inexhaustible literary framework because it mirrors the story of salvation. Yes, I do think that any hero's journey, even if it's not intended by the author, is somehow inspired by Christ. But of course, I'm going to see it through that lens from my worldview.
Yes.
Pop Culture Junkie.
I think I got that one.
Is it a 20 from earlier?
Yep.
Okay. Corey Anderson said, can we get more a internet show? You are going to get more. It's we've got new episodes coming out, I think, twice a week. There was sort of a blooper reel that we posted yesterday, I think, where Kyler live narrates to us how to make... Well, I don't know if it was supposed to be a weapon or what it even was, but It was really fun. Corey Anderson said, Johnny's in the basement mixing up the medicine. I'm on the pavement thinking about the government. Man in a trench coat badge laid off. I don't know what. Oh, says he's got a bad cough, wants to get it paid off. I don't know what you're referencing.
I'm assuming it's a song lyric, but as far as my cough goes, that cough's never going away. It shall never be paid off.
Well, don't just accept that this is your life now.
I've also, like, I remember almost zero lyrics from any song that I've ever loved, at least in its entirety, because of oh, she's coughing again, or she's sneezing again. Because of being deaf in one ear, I've just kind of always accepted that I'm never gonna remember most of the song lyrics unless I've listened to. Like, sometimes now when I go walking or running, I actually listen in both headphones, and I'm kind of shocked how much I actually end up picking up because I just always only have the headphone in the one ear. You okay?
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm good. Christina Lee said, I'm from the generation of squirrel nut zippers and CPD. I even took on swing dancing, which was a thing back then with the 50s inspired fashion.
Oh, is that a Bob Dylan song? No wonder I don't know it. Get that shit off my channel. Like, ban it. I'm deleting that. I'm cutting that out of the episode. If that was Bob Dylan lyrics, it's got to go.
And I didn't know that 90s fashion was inspired by the 50s. It's interesting. I knew a lot of swing dancing elites at my college because that was a thing. Like every week they did a swing dance event at my school. It was a weird place, but they had a lot of fun with it. It was pretty impressive. I mean, they're flying in the air. It looks way easier than it is, I'm sure.
Corn Pop in the chat says Brett deleted my comment. It's that's ridiculous. I did not delete your comment. I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait, was it about Bob Dylan?
I
Yes.
didn't delete his comment, so I don't know actually. Unless he says my YouTube comment, it's not gonna make sense anymore. I don't know what he's talking about.
All right. Shane H. Wilder said, Mary, it is pronounced Grand Prix, not Grand Prix. Thank you for telling me. Robert Delara said, only Mr. Peanut can pull off the monocle. Is it Mr. Peanut or is it the Monopoly Man? I think you're right. It is just Mr. Peanut.
George in the chat says, narrow-minded Brent. Only enlightened people appreciate Bob Dylan. After all, he is the greatest songwriter of all. He's the greatest songwriter of all time. Brent is a doofus. Well, that's a good thing because Brent is somebody that's not me, and you're wrong about Bob Dylan. At the very look, I don't know if he's the greatest songwriter of all time. I know he's the most boring song singer of all time because all he does is warble. 80 years old when he was 20.
Well, it's kind of a style of singing that's not actually singing.
It's a style of bad, is what it is.
Corey Anderson said Monopoly Man only had a monocle in Ace Ventura 2.
Was that what was it? Ace Ventura 2?
I think that's the one that people reference when they're talking about that specific Mandela effect.
You must
but
be the Monopoly guy.
the Monopoly Man should have a monocle.
Yeah.
So we're just going to believe that he has a monocle.
I wonder how many people went up to the top of ancient sets of steps and tried to slinky down after Ace Ventura 2. Did you ever see Ace Ventura 2? When Nature Calls?
I think I only saw the first one.
Slinky, Slinky, everybody loves a Slinky. Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder said, get this man a top hat, cummerbund, and cane. You also can't write cummerbund on YouTube gay. That's really gay. They're assuming that you mean it in a gay way when that's literally a piece of clothing. Corey Anderson said Jamie Presley was in Hollywood before Margot. Also, she was in Playboy, so who cares? She isn't doing nude. Well, the thing that we were talking about before the show was like, how much can they get away with here? They keep launching an OF and then not, actually showing everything. And are people eventually going to wake up to that ruse? And I was like, well, I think that they know that they're not subscribing for nudes. Like, I think they're okay.
I don't know if all of them are, because who was the one that was it? Who was the?
Someone was mad at Shannon Elizabeth for that.
But there was who was the first one that did this? Who was the first like younger actress who did this, or like influencer that did this, and then they were pissed that she didn't post nudes. I was gonna say Bella Poarch, but it wasn't Bella Poarch. I forget who it was.
I don't know.
There was one.
I don't know. But that's been a thing for a while. I think that the people subscribing don't really care, because if you're interested in seeing naked women, you can look that up and find that anywhere. It's really more about the parasocial nature of it. Robert Delara said OF should stand for old folks since celebrities over 50 are voting. Thank you.
JH is correct. It was Bella Thorne that I was thinking of.
Oh, right.
I had the Bella part right.
Right. I remember Bella Poarch. Where did she go?
I saw her name somewhere like recently, and it might have been on that like artists for ceasefire list.
Really?
No.
Where has she been? I just remember her being famous on TikTok for like in 2021, and then she dropped off the face of the planet. But all she was famous for was like doing lip syncing videos really close to her face.
Yeah.
Lawson said, got to head out early today. Mary, Brett, you guys rock. Great show. I like looking forward to watching you. Signed #1 Mary Simp. Hi, friends in chat. Well, thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
And have a good rest of your day. Francisco Sanchez Jr. said, I guess Scarlett wants us to forget that she played an alien who sucked the skeleton out of men. That was an art film, right?
She's she can act. She can act.
Weary Traveler said, oh, I think you read that one earlier. The 20. Corn Pop said, Mary Morgan, can I give you my Zen? Not Zin, Zen. If you're offering to give me a Zen garden,
That'd be pretty cool.
yes, but I have questions. Where is it going? Who is going to take care of it? Because I certainly don't have the time or patience for that. Francisco Sanchez Jr. said, damn it, forgot to mention Scarlett has a scene in her birthday suit in Under the Skin 2013 for the art.
It's always for the art.
Yeah, that's what they do. Hasn't Margot Robbie also done that? I think that was in Wolf of Wall Street, although I never watched that movie.
They love their favorite thing in the world is to do it for the art. Like is to do anything risky for the. What was the movie I was watching the other day? It might have been for The Dark Knight. Somebody this might be wrong, but I think it was like Heath Ledger told Christian Bale to like actually punch him in the face during the interrogation scene in The Dark Knight, and Christian Bale's like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Wow, Christian Bale of all people said no to that?
I think somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's the one I was thinking.
Super method.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, but there's like a lot. Like you don't want to do that, man. Like,
you don't want to.
You know what it is? He didn't want to do it and be like.
But you have a feeling he's gonna be like, "What the fuck, man? Like, I didn't mean like that hard."
He didn't want to do it and then be like, "Ow! Why is your head so hard?"
Yeah, that's another thing that's like super unrealistic in movies. Is like, first of all, the sound of punching someone, it's not real. And also, it really hurts to punch someone.
Well, I mean, the worst is like when somebody has a lamp broken over their head and they just get up. I'm like, you're not getting up, dude. You're knocked out.
They also make it look really easy to break down a door with your foot.
Yes,
and
they do.
They also make it look like someone will get fully knocked out by like a tap on the forehead. So I see both ways. Weary Traveler said, put a Brett on. He is on. He's right there. Jane H. Wilder said, the Black Widow is a femme fatale. Her first appearance in 64 even say introducing the gorgeous new menace, and she looks like a traditional femme fatale. Well, I haven't even seen... Actually, I did see Black Widow when it came out.
Did you?
I don't know why.
That's the most un-you thing I've ever heard.
I probably went because my younger brother wanted to go because he like vaguely cared about Marvel back then, but I probably like slept through it or like barely paid attention to it. Award-winning blank said, sorry, I've been absent work 2:30 to 11, 7 days at shipyard. Wow,
you must be pulling in the big bucks then.
No worries.
What do you do at the shipyard? I would like to know.
They yard ships.
What do you do at the shipyard?
Burnt Oils said, Mary, you said you watch old PCC episodes to improve yourself. It shows. I've peeked at old eps, and you've gotten much better at handling the show. Wow, thanks. Sounds a little bit backhanded.
No, not at all.
It is true. It is true.
There's no way to say that unless you take it that way. Like
I went in blind, guys. I didn't have, a podcast before this, so I just had to learn in real time in front of everybody. I definitely had to change my enunciation, like dramatically. I think I look back at old episodes from like 2022 and 2023, and I totally talk in a completely different way.
That's good.
But I don't even have to give it much thought anymore. It was like extra effort at first, and then it came naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Pat the Plumber said, "What is the last emote you added? I've asked chat 100 times and nobody answers. Where's the bucket emote? Where's the Olivia dancing emote?"
We are two, so we need 2 more channel members before we can add more emojis. I went to add the bucket emote the other day and it wouldn't let me. I don't know if that's because it cycles through. Like, I don't know if you lose emotes, because when gifted memberships are gifted, they don't always get, obviously those people don't necessarily renew. So we need 2 more channel memberships before I can add the bucket emote. Is what it is.
There you have it. Robert Delara said, "If the government funded the arts, then they would decide what is publicly displayed. It would be a deterioration of free speech."
Yeah, but like when you let Jeff Bezos and like the billionaire class decide, they're gonna just promote like capitalist art that wants to prevent you from taking on the elites. They need, you know, bourgeoisie, proletariat, all that stuff, right? Like, they're not going to show, like, they're going to show you a bunch of stuff that's steeped in, like, white supremacy.
Bro. I like how this character doesn't wear glasses. You have to like.
Well, no, it's because I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this, and it would break them if I did this. But it's like, you know, bro, like there's a reason.
Again, it's just so mind-boggling what people were saying about Bezos and the Met Gala in my comments. I was like, again, please explain to me in detail, like I'm 5, how an art exhibit that features like Greek marble statues and Van Gogh paintings, how that is, as they put it, a middle finger to the working class, or a slap in the face, as another put it, to every Amazon warehouse employee in the country who can't even take a bathroom break. I don't get it.
I like the idea of Jeff Bezos that he does spot checks where he comes in to make sure that everybody's got their piss bottles so they can't go to the bathroom.
I'm monitoring how much water intake is going on in this building. No more than 32 sips of water a day, all of you.
Okay.
By the way, you don't even see it, but I'm on 4 different Zoom calls firing people right now.
He's like, when I say I'm monitoring the situation, I am monitoring the situation. Somebody should make a meme of the situation. Was the situation from Jersey Shore? Somebody needs to do a picture of somebody like peeping Tom at the situation and put, "I'm monitoring the situation." Somebody make that meme.
Mike, this
and then send it to the guy.
The detail about them having slanted toilet seats kind of took me aback. In Amazon warehouses, the employees have toilet seats that are slanted sort of forward.
Wait, to like push them off so they can get back to work?
so that they don't sit on the toilet on their phone all day. But you know what?
What?
They shouldn't be on the toilet doom scrolling at their job.
Exactly.
Am I allowed to say that? Does that make me a bootlicker?
I'm going to come in tomorrow and I'm going to have like a slanted chair. Like for work on Monday and
I'm pretty sure that's true. They have those like bespoke toilets for lazy Amazon
They got the idea from like those like anti-homeless benches that they make.
Yeah. No, there's nothing I love more than hostile architecture, don't get me wrong. Love a good spiked windowsill, or a bench that has a statue on it.
We've got a Rumble rant here from Broody Gambit. What's up, dude? Says, "What miniature should I paint this weekend? I've got several. Batman the Animated Series, MCU, TMNT, or Star Wars characters." Well, you should do Batman the Animated Series, obviously.
I'm surprised that you didn't say TMNT.
You can do that next weekend.
Corey Anderson said, "Can you have Stuttering Craig and Blabs on as guests?"
We've still never done like a multi-person, what do you call it? Like a multi-person remote show. If that did happen, I would do that as like a bonus content first to see how it works. And the funny thing is like, so like a couple weeks ago, like I was talking to Craig and he was supposed to do like a bonus episode, and then like I didn't hear back from him, and then I did the episode with Blabs, and then he hit me back up, and then I didn't hear back from him. So I'm hoping to get him back on here soon too. He's super busy. Like they do a lot of stuff over there at Side Scrollers. So hopefully we can make that happen.
Pop Culture Junkie said, "I tried to describe a internet show to a friend of mine. I gave up. If this is your intention, you succeeded."
He ended up in an asylum after trying to describe it.
You know what? Not to get pseudo-intellectual here, but to get pseudo-intellectual here, it's because we make evergreen content and it's not tied to trends or the news cycle. That's why it's hard to explain.
Mm-hmm.
We're just shooting the shit. Like, that's the point. And if you're gonna join us, I guess like don't make too much of a ruckus.
There you go.
Corey Anderson said it was Subterranean Homesick Blues by Bob Dylan.
Well, it sounds like ass. That's what it sounds like to me. Eric David says, Vera said she would love to come back on. Someone asked her in the chat the other day. Yeah, I would love to have Vera back on here. Again, like to me, it's always about, I've been more and more weary of doing like the remote shows other than the days that we do it, just because it's so nice on Tuesdays and Thursdays to know that there's not going to be any fucking big tech. Granted, we've had pretty good luck for a while, but it's a wild card where I just know whenever like your internet cuts out, it's going to be on the one topic that I have like even less opinions than normal. And then,
then just chill with the chat.
Like I want to do some type of weird performance art where the next time that happens, I just don't say anything until it reconnects. It's going to be impossible to just sit there and just be like,
just like striking different poses. Yeah. I would support that.
wonder how
My
that would go.
internet, I haven't had any issues with my internet for months though.
No, but I do have minor heart attacks every time your internet goes wonky on the bar there, and it's been
I think
good.
we've found our stride as much as we possibly can
Yeah.
at this stage.
Yep.
Shane H. Wilder
Well, look,
said watching.
one of the things that happens, and it just happened there, like there is still like the minor delay, like from when I speak to when you hear it or anything like that. And the issue is that, you know, going back and forth, it used to be easier when we were in the same place.
Yeah, I mean that's a given.
Yeah.
The delay is like imperceptible though. Shane H. Wilder said, watching a internet show yesterday reminded me that you can make a taser with a disposable camera. Oh, you already knew that?
They did that in an episode of Burn Notice.
Okay, so that's what it was. I forgot that it was a taser at the end of the video because obviously we didn't know where that was going.
They did that in a season 2 episode of Burn Notice where he went to meet this guy inside City Hall and he needed to find a way to get a weapon inside City Hall. So he just had a disposable camera. I'm like, I don't know who brings a disposable camera into City Hall, but okay.
But it was an in-depth tutorial that we posted yesterday about how to make an at-home taser.
Is that legal?
Narrated by Kyler.
Is that legal to do that?
Yesn't? I don't know.
Yeah, so they would always describe when you'd listen to the bonus features on Burn Notice, they would say like whenever they would do, because that was the whole point of the show, right? He's like, it's Michael doing like a spy tutorial in the voiceover. He'd always have to leave out ingredients when he'd be like, you can make a homemade chemical bomb by adding this, and this.
You know, they like sub in something random, like
so he would have to lie.
Powdered sugar.
To get past the suits and legal.
Weary Traveler said, first burned oil, now corn pop. When when will the authoritarian PCC regime fall?
The only
Never.
time I ever put people in timeout is if they start spelling words in the chat. Because it's a spam.
Certain
and
words.
Well, even no, it doesn't matter the word. It's like it's a spam and it's annoying.
It's usually a particular word.
And it's rude to everybody else who's watching, who's trying to follow along.
Corey Anderson said Tom Petty is the greatest American songwriter.
I would much rather listen to Tom Petty than I would ever want to listen to Bob Dylan.
Earned Oils said the super chat segment is so fun. You guys should make the whole show about just reading super chats.
I would
and
love
phone calls. Enough with the silly gossiping.
I would love that.
Well, I mean, we have done that.
Mhm.
We have done that in the past. We did at least one episode, I think maybe two, where we listened to voicemails from Discord.
Mhm.
We could do that again. That would be a fun time.
They're spelling stuff in the chat now, as I knew they would. You're just ruining it for everybody else.
Okay.
You're just being a prick, but that's your business, I guess. If everybody wants to be a prick, then I guess that's fine. Put it in
Shane H.
slow-mo.
Wilder said, I took a swing class my senior year because I needed one more class. That is where I was introduced to classic and 90s revival swing music.
Everybody's out here expanding their horizons.
I was taught swing like in the very most basic way in high school for a couple years, but I didn't like touching the boys' hands. That kind of ruined it.
Were they were they clammy?
They were so clammy. So clammy. And I hated that part of it. And I just every time that we would get out of that class, I would go straight to wash my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes. But it was fun. Robert Delera said, when it comes to songwriting, Bob Dylan is not in the same league as Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys.
All right, then.
I'm not a fan of the Beach Boys either. I wouldn't say I'm like specifically not a fan. I'm just neutral. Corey Anderson said, as someone who has been through the training, it is not difficult to kick down a door. Nice sagging collars today. I think I'm just sleep deprived right now, but that was really funny. It just took me by surprise.
Sorry, I'm caught up. The chat's effed now. Sorry, guys. It's Friday. It's okay. Everybody can have a little bit of frivolity.
Weary Traveler said, Brett, what is your opinion on Workaholics? I was a big fan in college and plan on rewatching some episodes.
Never saw it. I should do that, though. But there's so many shows that I should watch, but just don't. I just don't. I will say I'm excited that the show RJ Decker got renewed for a season 2. So every time I make a post, my excited posts about Boomer Television, they're like, I didn't even know that network television still existed. I'm like, yes, it does.
I'm just looking at our collars now. They are saggy.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, did you guys see the shirt Robert Downey Jr. was wearing in that stupid interview where he's talking about influencers? He was wearing 3 shirts, and one of them was a low-cut top that a woman would wear with a shirt underneath.
He has a weird fashion sense. You know what's even worse? The paparazzi photos of Chris Pine. Horrifying. He wears yoga pants.
Really?
Bro, he wears women's yoga pants in public. It's disgusting. Burned Oils said, Mary, my comment was a compliment. Take it. LOL. Okay. Thank you. Robert said, Brett, bad news for RJ Decker. Ratings may cancel.
It got renewed. I just literally posted about it today.
Okay. Corey Anderson said, please do more Indian street food reviews. As much as I would love to do that, it might get played out quick if the entire point of the video is making fun of Indians. It was a good episode, though. I highly recommend you go check out A Internet Show. We did a whole video about the most disgusting street vendor food in India. It's way worse than you think. Smoke Daddy 00 said, will you guys bring back Eric July? I know he's black, but he seemed pretty chill. Even Mary started to warm up to him, LOL.
What the fuck?
Y'all are out of pocket today.
Eric is always welcome back on the show.
We've had plenty of black guests on this show. Thank you very much.
Eric is
And
always
they're all
welcome
nice
back,
people.
but we don't fly guests out anymore, so that's just
Well, if
not
he
how-
shows up for Tim's show, I guess maybe that would happen. Wow, guys.
what's in the water over there in Chatland today?
Yeah. Boston said, I'm not going in timeout. Am I? We're cool, right?
Sure.
Are we cool? We cool.
Sure.
Shane H. Wilder said, it's not legal, but it's not legal. All I will say, you use the flash of the camera to charge the taser. It's actually scary dangerous.
Doesn't sound safe.
Yeah. Corey Anderson said, Mary, you know those boys were super nervous.
Yeah, that's probably why they had the clammy hands.
I think they're also just clammy.
Nah.
You know, like I think they're just always like that. Like I remember we would have mass on one day a week in school, and like every time that it got to the sign of peace, you would just be dreading it, like the feeling of the clammy hands.
Mhm.
Glad I don't do that anymore. Pat the Plumber said, Brett, I know you hate Bob Dylan, but how do you feel about Lucky Wilbury?
I don't even know what that means. Is that like the Traveling Wilburys or something like that? I don't care. That's what I feel.
Weary Traveler said, we can't make fun of Indians anymore. Well, I'm not saying that we can't. I'm just saying, like, maybe that shouldn't be a theme of the show itself. But it was fun while it lasted, guys. Maybe we'll do a part 2. It was a hit, apparently. I think we're all caught up on the super chats.
All
Are we
right.
on Rumble as well?
Let me double check and make sure that we are all caught up everywhere.
One more from Burned Oils. Mary, when are you gonna let all of your crazy come out once you've been holding it in? Come out all at once. You've been holding it in for so long.
Do you have a crazy side that I don't know about?
Yeah, I'm crazy.
Do you go like
what?
do you go home, like lock the door, look around to make sure nobody's looking, and then just act weird?
I have a silly, goofy side that nobody knows about. Me when I show my goofy side. Like,
You didn't tilt your head enough when you did that. Yep, there you go. That's the more accurate version.
Be yourself.
Exactly.
It's better than anyone else. Yeah, I'm not secretly crazy. You've seen it all. I promise. Okay, I think that was all of the super chats.
I got a couple more here from Pop Culture Junkie. Hold on, I have to like the Burned Oils one because it made me laugh. Pop Culture Junkie says ABC announced today RJ Decker for sure renewed. Yeah, the only downside to that is like the ratings for the show really weren't that great. And Jaina Lee Ortiz, who's one of the stars in that show, she's in shows that go 2 seasons. That's usually what it seems like. I hope it doesn't. I hope season 2 is even better than season 1 and that it finds its stride. But I quite enjoyed. I'm an episode behind, so I'm going to finish that probably tomorrow since we're going to the movies tonight. But Robert James Films says, okay, read the RJ Decker was on the chopping block yesterday. Yeah, this article that I put on screen earlier, that was from today. So I'm quite excited about that. People will always give me crap because whenever I post about that, they're like, I didn't even know they made network television shows anymore. I'm like, well, I don't watch them on network television. I watch them on Hulu the next day. It's when they come.
I thought you were gonna say Tubi.
No, ad-free Tubi. No, I watch them on Hulu. Weary Traveler says Mary's bedroom looks like Rust Coles from True Detective. I mean,
I don't know what that means.
you never watched True Detective?
No.
You might find. I have no idea.
Wait, what is the reference though?
I mean, Rust Cole is one of the characters in True Detective.
Yeah, but
it's been so long since I've seen it, I don't remember what Rust Cole's bedroom looks like. But maybe. Corey Anderson
Shame.
says, have you thought about doing a meet and greet? Maybe I'm alone in this, but like all the big pop culture YouTube channels do them, and they're always like super successful. I just can't shake the idea that like one person would show up. And we'd be like,
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that like one person would show up and like try to kill us.
no, just like one person would show up. And Mary could do a meet and greet. She'd need security, but she could do a meet and greet.
Yeah, that sounds super risky.
Yes.
But it also depends on where it would be. Because, you know, obviously
Tana Mojo Con. We can do that. We can do that.
Let's make TanaCon 2.0 happen. Actually, she already did a TanaCon 2.0. She did.
Did she?
We'll do it 3.0.
Okay.
Yeah. Shane H. Wilder said, get some sleep and get better, Mary. See y'all Mondays. Yeah, but I am thinking maybe I should do the show sleep deprived more often. It's more fun.
It's more fun that way.
More
it makes
funner.
less sense, but it's more funner.
Yeah.
We got a couple more here. One more here from Pop Culture Junkie says the show got renewed because it's cheap to produce. Good. Keep the costs down. And wait, I thought it was made in like is it like filmed in Canada? I mean, it takes place in Florida, so I'm assuming it's filmed in Florida. I don't know.
Nah, if they can convince me that Vancouver is Santa Barbara.
Oh,
they can
because of Psych.
convince me that it's Florida. Yeah.
Corey Anderson says, I miss Phil. Me too, buddy. Mary, oh yeah, maybe if we do a meetup, Mary's going to be like a no clammy hands rule, where if you want to meet and greet and have a handshake, fine, but your hands better not be clammy.
Yeah. You better be wiping your hand on your pants before we shake hands.
Ryan Bledsoe says, most artists have a libertine nature in the name of creativity, so I don't foresee a day where artists are more conservative, other than for nefarious reasons. Have a good weekend, everybody. I actually 110% agree with you about that, and it's why I'm never shocked nor offended when they're like, when they can't stand the injustices of the quote unquote injustices of the world. They just see the world differently than most people.
When it comes to conservatives that are artistic, that are naturally creative, they tend to be former liberals who, or rather, they're still liberal, but they're just the same. They have the same worldview that they had in like the 2000s, and then everyone outpaced them to the left, but they didn't come along to the far left with the rest of their people. They tend to be really good at art, though. It doesn't mean they're not conservative. Also, I don't know why an artist would be conservative, like for nefarious reasons.
I think he means more like to grift. Like they don't actually believe it, but they're like trying to like court a new audience because their old audience went away.
Yeah, what was that awful cartoon that we talked about that one time? Do you remember that? It was this awful cartoon that got posted on X. It was supposed to be.
What was it?
Do you remember this?
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name of it.
Oh my gosh, that was like a fever dream. But that's like kind of the worst example.
This is why. Okay, so this is why I was. Maybe this is why I was so annoyed. By the way, at Mortal Kombat during the Scary Movie 6 trailer, exactly no people laughed at all at any of the jokes. Plenty of people laughed at Kano's scenes, but oh, we got a crisis party coming. But like when she does the joke where she's like, my pronouns are they, them. Like everybody in the room audibly groans.
Thank you. I found it.
What was it called?
The New Norm. Remember that?
Who made it? Was that that wasn't the Adam Carolla one, was it?
No, it was a totally different thing. called The New Norm, and I never found out who was behind it.
It was just really bad. I remember it being bad. Yep. It was bad.
It was called, they called it The South Park of X, Legalize Humor. And I posted the screenshot of them like reaching out to me to hire me as one of the voice actors, but I never saw the message, and I was like, damn it, this could have like given me my big break. But yeah, that was awful. And it was weird that back then when we made a video about that show and like made fun of it, people legit were like, no, it's good because it's conservative. Like, they didn't even think the show was funny. And they were just like defending it because, I don't know, to prove a political point. It was so bad.
Moon at Noon sent 99 cents with a, I guess that's like an emoji with a halo. Thank you for that. Corey Anderson says, why would anybody want to hurt either of you? Well, nobody would, of course. Like, I can't imagine ever wanting to hurt little ol' us. Shane H. Wilder says, as they say, sleep when you're dead.
So true.
And
YOLO.
YOLO.
We need to bring back YOLO.
Yes, we do. Well, no, because then it got, The Lonely Island did YOLO, you only live once, where you take no risks at all because you only live once. That was actually funny.
Yeah. It can be interpreted in a number of ways.
You only live once, so don't let it go to waste. Pop Culture Junkie says RJ Decker is shot in Wilmington, North Carolina.
There is more stuff getting filmed in North Carolina these days.
Cool.
Yeah.
I really like that show, man. I really, really do like that show. I think that is all of them. He says Decker is shot on the old Dawson's Creek facility. Thank you, Pop Culture Junkie. There you go. That's awesome. All right, guys, before we go, hit the like button on this episode, please, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Mary, where can they find you?
You guys can send me validation on Instagram, that is Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X, that is also Mary Archived, and help me get TikTok famous, that is also Mary Archived.
All right, Moon at Noon says, Brett, it's a angel, the halo. Well, it didn't have angel robes. It was just a face with a halo, okay? Could have been anything. No says, hire best chatters as security. Problem solved. We could do that. The Pop Culture Crisis meetup. Shane H. Wilder says, the new norm was All in the Family if All in the Family was lame and talentless. Shots fired.
Damn.
2 years later, shots fired.
Did you get that one from Pop Culture Junkie?
What do you say?
Decker is shot in
Yes.
Old Dawson's Creek. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. All right, guys, if you want to follow me, I am on Instagram and on X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. PCC is live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than just watch the show, you can also rate and review on Apple Podcast and on Spotify, which is a great way to help the channel out. If you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Guys, we will be back with another episode on Monday. We will see y'all then. Bye, everybody.
Bye.